All right, y'all, I've got to be real with you for a second. I have been questioning whether I should even keep going with this YouTube thing. Honestly, I haven't felt like I've gained much traction, and I've been kind of wrestling with which direction to take this channel, and more on that in another video coming soon. But for 2025, I've been really trying to hand things over to God, like fully hand them over and just trust him to guide me. And wouldn't you know it, God has a way of showing up when you least expect it. So a few days ago, I pulled up YouTube, not looking for anything specific, and this channel I'd never heard of called Growing Through It popped up, which I'll link that channel below. But I was like, okay, what's this? I clicked on a random video. It wasn't even her latest one, and just kind of let it play while I was getting ready for work. At first, I wasn't paying super close attention. I was in and out, brushing my hair. You know how mornings go, just kind of, complete chaos. But then about 20 minutes in, I hear her say, there's a reason that the Bible uses the metaphor of a race. Y'all, I stopped in my tracks. I literally froze and said, I'm getting goosebumps. And I said, and probably I'm going to cry. But I said, okay, Lord, I hear you. Sorry, I'm emotional. Anyways, I took that as a sign that I'm supposed to be here doing this YouTube thing. Even if my videos only reach one person or 100 people, because if I'm being faithful to what I feel God has called me to do, then that's all that matters. I would really encourage you to check out her video after this one. I'll link it in the description below, along with her channel, like I said a few minutes ago, because she really does such a beautiful job explaining it, and it's really just such a great listen. But that video inspired me to come on here today and talk about this topic, which, why does God use running as a metaphor in the Bible? So I'm really excited to dive in. But have you noticed how many times running is mentioned in the Bible? It's like God's trying to say, hey, life's a race, let's get moving. Now, as someone who loves running, I think that's pretty cool. But even if the last time you ran was to chase your toddler across the house, I promise this message is for you too. So let's break it down. Why does God use running as a metaphor so much? So grab your sneakers or, your coffee, and let's go. Okay, I'm going to be real for a second. We all know endurance isn't exactly glamorous. In Hebrews 12:1, the Bible actually says to run with perseverance the race that's marked out for us. And let me tell you, perseverance doesn't feel cute at all. It feels like sweat, cramps, and that awkward side stitch that I always get on my left side that makes you question your life choices. But here's the thing. Life can feel like that, right? So sometimes it's uphill all the way and you're wondering if it's even worth it. But God says to keep going. You're not alone. Faith isn't about sprinting through the easy parts. It's about trusting him in those hard uphill climbs where you're wanting to quit and you get those ugly side stitches. The second point that I wanted to touch on was running gives us purpose. So let's talk about purpose. 1 Corinthians 9:24 says, run, and the end of 9:24 says, run in such a way to win the prize. And runners don't just jog aimlessly like, oh, look, a squirrel, unless you're on an easy run with me, and I'm very much like that. But most of the time they've got a destination, they've got a specific goal that they're working towards. And again, maybe sometimes we do get distracted, but the point is God gives us a reason to run. Your life is not random. The race you're running right now, it's been mapped out by God himself. And the finish line, it's a good one, which is eternity with him. So if you have ever felt like you're just running in circles, first of all, remember, you're definitely not alone. And God's got you on his track, and every single step that you take has a purpose. The third point that I wanted to cover today was that Training really does prepare us for life. I'll be honest, training is not glamorous. It's not. Endurance isn't glamorous. Training isn't glamorous either. I think we're picking up on a theme here. No one wakes up and says, "Wow, I can't wait to hurt today." But 1 Timothy 4:8 says, "For the training of the body has limited benefit, but godliness is beneficial in every way, since it holds the promise for the present life and also for the life to come." Training your faith is like training for a race. It's hard work, and you might feel sore in places you didn't even know existed. But prayer, scripture, worship, these are your spiritual squats and sprints. The more you train those, the stronger your faith gets. And trust me, there is no such thing as spiritual DOMs. Faith training is the only workout where the coach is also your biggest cheerleader. So the ultimate finish line, bringing us to the end. 2 Timothy 4:7 says, "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith." Notice it doesn't say I finished first or I set a PR. Nope. It's about finishing. Life isn't about being the fastest or the flashiest. It's about staying in the race even when it's messy. God doesn't expect you to be perfect. He just wants you to keep going and trust him to get you to the end. So what's your race looking like right now? Maybe you're in the training phase, stretching those spiritual muscles, or maybe you're deep in the middle of the race and it feels like mile 20 of a marathon. Tough, exhausting, but completely worth it. Wherever you are, I want you to remember this. God is running with you. He's your coach, he's your cheerleader, and he's already secured your victory. So let's keep running the race together. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from this, and if this video made you laugh, think, or just feel a little more motivated. Give it a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use some encouragement today. Keep running, keep trusting, and I'll see you at the finish line.